Yo peeps, happy Tony Tuesday. Y'all want to talk a little bit about today about reading. Limiting factors, I guess. Let me put it that way. Limiting factor. Mainly around reading. So I never really read as a kid. It's not a strong suit for me. I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't something I was good at. So I never read. I never read as a young adult, anything like that. When I started 75 Hard a couple years ago, the reading part was honestly the one that scared me. That kind of, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But the more I got into it and the more I read, the more confidence I gained in that. Still not a super strong reader, but I enjoy it more, so I can make myself move through it better. I said that to say this, is I started reading a new book that talks about mind, body, soul connection. And think about it as in positive thoughts. When you go into something, whether that be a job interview, a meeting, a sporting event, when you have positive thoughts around that, it changes the outcome of that, right? If you go into an interview and you got some positive thoughts around how the interview is going to go, how you're going to answer questions, it changes your demeanor. You stand up or you sit up a little bit taller. You can look the person in the eye as you speak. Things just naturally flow better, meaning that the outcome of that is in a beneficial way to you, right? Same thing when it comes to any other thing, whether it be a meeting, first date, or whatever it is, right? It's been a long time since I've been on a first date, but I assume it's the same way. So think of it that way, right? So when we have positive thoughts externally, it changes that. It changes our environment that way. But what about internally? You know, how does that mindset change with how our body processes things, our immune system, our heart, our lungs, our gut, all of that, right? Cortisol levels. It's something that I've thought about, but not necessarily like dove into it. Definitely should have. So I'm going to start doing that more for me, right? I need that for myself, is to, how can I shift that mindset to not only impact my physical environment, but me, my body, right? Because I ain't a young spring chicken no more. So how can I do that? But I told you guys that story because I really wanted to talk about limiting factors, or limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves, right? I've had that belief of I'm not a strong reader for a long time. And it's always held me back and hindered me of I'm not smart enough. That was always my thought. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not smart enough to do that. Screw that. Yes, I am. Do I gotta work a little bit harder maybe? Sure. That's okay. But that doesn't mean that I'm not smart enough. So I want to encourage you guys to, if you're in that same boat as me of putting yourself into a bubble and putting a limit on who you can be, find a way to stomp on that joker and just push it in the dirt and figure out a way that you don't have that limit on yourself anymore. Because it'll change you. You'll never know who you'll change. It just makes it better. So, no more limiting factors, y'all. You are smart enough. Till next week, y'all.